Hello guys, this is Elias with Softly, and in today's video we're gonna quickly import customers into WooCommerce using WP All Import. Now guys, in today's video we're gonna use a CSV file which is right here. Let me show you real quick. And in this CSV file, this is an export from another WordPress site. All of this is dummy data, of course, so not to worry about all of these emails. First and last names, username, email, password, billing address, city, state, zip, phone, and the same for shipping. So this is a very basic import. So let's just get on with that, right? I'm gonna upload this file. And just, guys, you can also download this file from an URL or whatever. But in this video, we're just gonna roll with the upload file functionality. Now, we're going to create new customers right here. I'm going to just show you guys real quick. We don't have any users nor any customers here, right? It's only me here. And here we don't have any customers. Now, guys, you need to keep in mind one thing. When you're importing customers, we will need to assign some orders to them for them to show up here in the customer section in WooCommerce. So when we import these customers, they're just going to be users with the customer role. And if you want to know how to migrate them as customers with their orders, we have other videos for that, because you will need to migrate the orders and match them to their customer profiles here in your site, right? So that's something to keep in mind. While I was talking, I just pressed on the button to continue to step 2, which is this one. And here we just need to make sure our file is looking good. And as you can see, we have here all of the data for the first row in our CSV. So let's just continue to step 3. Now in step 3, we just need to drag and drop the elements from this right panel into the fields we want those elements to go. So I just drag and drop the first name, and I'm going to do the same with the last name. Now the username is right here, and the email is right here. For the passwords, I'm going to drag and drop this, and since this is coming from another WordPress site, this is a hashed password. So I need to enable this option. You can also leave it blank, and well, the users will need to kind of reset their passwords, right? But in this case, we have the field right here with the data. So let's just move on. Next up, we have the billing and shipping info section. So here we just need to do the same, just drag and drop the data. And if it's the same, or if you don't have the actual shipping address data, you can just copy it from billing. That's fine. Now, in our case, we do have billing and shipping information. So I'm going to enable this, and you will see here all of the fields for the shipping address. Now, I'm going to drag and drop the first and last names. Company, I'm going to leave it blank. Then for the billing address, I'm going to drag and drop that here. Then city. Next up is billing zip for the postcode. Country we don't have here in this file, but we will assume that all of these customers are from the US. So you can hover on the question marks if you have some questions about some of these fields, and it will give you some guidance on it. For instance, if you type in here United States, it won't work because the required format is the 2-letter format. So I'm just gonna type in US, right? Now for the state, I have that right here. So I'm gonna drag and drop that in. And then for the email, same. And lastly, the phone, which is here, right? Now I'm gonna do the same for the shipping address, and I can just copy this and paste it here. It's the same, it will work too. Now for the address, I do need to use the right element, so I'm gonna drag and drop the shipping address. It's here. Then the shipping city, shipping zip code, country, again, we're gonna type in US. State, it's right here. Cool. And with this, we're pretty much done with this import, because here in the other customer info, we have the role. And guys, this is using the slugs for the user roles, and by default the customer one in WooCommerce is just customer. But if you have a more complex site and you need to import multiple roles into the same user or whatever, you will need to separate those roles with a pipe, right? Now in this case, I'm just going to leave this as it is, and all of these settings, I'm just going to leave them as they are too, because all the default values work just fine for me. We don't have any custom fields for these customers, but if you had, you will just click here on see detected fields, and WP Import will take care of this for you in case you already have some users in your site. But if not, you can just add the name of those fields here and drag and drop the values here, and you should be good. We have other videos where we dive a little bit more into details about this feature in particular, so if this is something that interests you, just go nuts there. And lastly, we have here the function editor, and this is more advanced, guys, and it's for when you need to kind of modify your data or bring in some data or do some complex stuff that maybe WP Import don't have the feature for built in, right? So for instance, say, I don't know, you want to, right here you have the register date, and if we had this information and we had it in some weird date format, we will need to convert this to a year, month, day format, right? So to do that, we will need a custom PHP function. So we will just type that in real quick here and run this data that's coming from your file, of course, through that PHP function, and that's basically how it works, right? It's very simple, and if you want to know more about that, again, we have other videos, so be sure to check this out. Now, for this import though, I think we're ready, so I'm just going to continue to step 4. And here on step 4, we need, the first thing we need actually is the unique identifier. Now, this unique identifier is basically what WP Import uses to tell one record apart from the other. And why this is important, you may ask? Well, the thing is, WP Import needs to know when to update a record and when to create a new one. So this is what's gonna use to, as I said, tell one record apart from the other. So this Berg guy, if there is another guy named Berg, and we use the first name as the unique identifier, WP Import will think that these two are the same, which it's not the case, right? So guys, for the most part, you will probably just click here on this button that says auto detect, and since WP Import is pretty smart about it, it will probably select the right unique identifier for you. But if you want to add more complexity to this to make sure it's super unique, that each and every one of these records has a unique combination of values, you can just drag and drop another one. So for instance, in WordPress, you can't have two usernames that are the same. So, I mean, this is pretty safe. But if you want to like add more complexity to it, maybe you can drag and drop the email too. So that will work. Now, these options are mostly for when you need to rerun these exports. So we're just going to skip them, but I believe they are pretty much self-explanatory. You can get really granular about which data points to actually like update here. So if, for instance, you only want to update the, I don't know, like the passwords or whatever, you just deselect all of these fields and select the password one, and it should be good. Now, in this video, we're just gonna update all of this. We won't care for any of this, because, well, we have other videos, like I said before, where we dive a little bit more into details about all of these options. Now, this one right here about blocking email notifications, well, I mean, you may want to keep this enabled for your first run here in case you make a mistake or whatever and you need to correct it. You definitely don't want to be sending like thousands of emails and then sending them all over again, right? So maybe just block them, and once you're sure, you can run it again or whatever. But yeah, I'm gonna keep this like this, and these are more advanced options like the scheduling options, which are very cool, very powerful. And we have other videos where we talk more about how to schedule your exports to run them automatically on a certain time frames on the day or whatever. So be sure to check those out. Now, these advanced options are mostly for debugging and for when something doesn't go the way we want to, I guess, these first ones. So if something doesn't go as you expected in your import, you will probably go here. And these are other options, we're just gonna skip over them. And if you wanna know more about them, just hover on the question marks and you will have more info about what they do. For now, let's just continue here. And this is a little summary, so all of this is looking good. And I'm just gonna confirm and run this. And WP import will work here for you, importing all of these 1000 records, but it's gonna take a few seconds, so I'm just gonna pause the video here and come back when it's finished. Alright guys, so our import is complete. Now we need to check if our users imported correctly. We have one here. So if I refresh that, you will see 1001, which is pretty cool. Now, like I said before, the customers won't show up here because they don't have any orders assigned to them. Now, if we go here to orders and add a new order, right? Well, the customer for that order will show up here. So, like I said before, you're welcome to check out the videos on how to import orders. And once you do that, your customers will show up here in WooCommerce Customers. For now, we have them here as users with the customer role, which is what we wanted. And here you can see that all of the fields are filled, which is what we wanted to. We can see here the customer billing address, first name, last name, the company and address line 2. We left them blank, so this is good. And so yeah, you have here all of the data like we wanted. And that's it. That's how you import WooCommerce customers in WordPress using a CSV file and WP import. I really hope you enjoyed this video, guys, and if you want to know more about how to do other stuff, like maybe exporting orders and customers and products and then import them back again in WordPress, or maybe you're using ACF, JetEngine, Metabox, whatever, you can import and export to and from anywhere in WordPress using WP import and WP export. So be sure to check out the videos in our channel and our website at wplimport.com. For now, thank you for watching and see you next time.